I actually didn't know how to pronounce your first name, but now that I'm realizing that I have to introduce you, is it Rommel?
It's Rommel. You got it. You
Oh
got
my goodness, Rommel. Well, I'm super excited to have you on the Power Chat series today, after an eventful, amazing weekend that you had at the NAFMA tournament. How are you doing today?
it. Thanks for having me, Isabella. It's great to be here. I'm doing great. I was a little sore over the weekend. It was a very busy weekend testing for my seventh dan, competing. Um, doing a little bit of training, practicing, coaching my students. But definitely all well worth it. So I'm doing good now. So.
You were all over the place at this tournament. So let's break it down from the actual event. How did that go for you? You're on the show, which means that you performed really well. But in terms of number breakdown, what did you take home?
Sure. I did four divisions. I
Okay.
won four first place. I won the adult overall forms grand champion, and I was also the power ring winner as well. So not a bad weekend.
So a clean sweep is what I'm hearing.
And sweet, yeah.
And then you had students there as well. So
Mhm.
tell me a little bit more about how that works. I've competed with Morgan many times, and I know that you're based in Texas.
Yes.
So do you bring your students from your school with you, or do you have students around the country that you bring to tournaments?
Most of my students do come with me, but I do teach students from other states via Zoom, or we'll get together and do privates at tournaments and stuff. So I pretty much have students all over the place, but I do have some main ones that train with me both at my Kickstart school and my commercial school. So this weekend it was mainly my students from my commercial and Kickstart schools that came with me, and they did very well. As an instructor. All you really want is for them to continue to work hard and succeed and fulfill their goals and their dreams. And they definitely aim for that each and every single time they step on the floor.
Yeah. So I've seen you support Morgan as throughout when I was competing when we were in the still in the same division. What's it like seeing your students compete, alongside you because you're still deep in competition right now as an instructor.
It's funny because, you know, technically, I guess I should be retired by now. But I'm the type of person that likes to set an example for my students. For me, I never look at it as, oh well, I'm a certain age, so I guess at my age I should be doing this or shouldn't be doing that. So for me, age, like they say, age is just a number, right? And I've
Mhm.
always loved the challenge. In some divisions, WKF, I compete in the 16 plus division, 18 plus division. And a lot of times they have to tell me, no, you can't compete in the 18 plus divisions. And I'm like, well, why not?
Mhm.
But for me, um, again, I don't look at an age as anything that should hold me back. And as far as Morgan, Morgan's like my mini me, just the girl version. And I've seen her grow so much from when she started with me in sixth grade when she was 11, and now she's 21 years old.
Mhm.
And I'm always, their biggest cheerleaders. I don't care how obnoxious I can be, but I should be their biggest cheerleaders alongside their parents, right? And I'm always very proud of them. For me, win or lose, as long as they go out there, give it their all their heart, I'll never be disappointed with any of my students.
So I know it's taboo to ask people their age, but I'm sure viewers are also wondering, considering you look so young, how old actually are you?
I am actually 42.
42. Okay, so
42.
you're definitely in the 30 plus division, but you sometimes drop down to the 18 plus division.
I do both, actually. I do both.
Okay.
I do both the 18 and the 30. And honestly, if I was in the 40, I'd probably do 18, 30, and 40. But
Yeah.
yeah, to me, I just love it. I love competing. Uh, I mean, what more can I say? I mean, I've been doing it for this long. I can't imagine
Mhm.
not doing it, and keeps me in shape. And you know how it is. You're a competitor yourself.
Mhm.
Your training is definitely different when you're training for something as opposed to just training, and it gives
Oh,
you
yeah.
something to look forward to. And for me, going to competition and not doing anything is it's boring.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
boring, and I try to definitely play both the hats of a competitor and as
Mhm.
their coach and their instructor. It's not easy, but I do manage. And the good thing is I have students that are old enough to be able to help me out with the younger students, the brand new students that are competing. And that's what it's all about. One big family, one big team, and we're there for for each other. So I know that if I can't be there when they're competing, I know that some of my students will be there with them, for them, cheering them on.
And you have your own school. You mentioned 2 different types of schools.
Sure.
Could you
I
repeat that
am
again?
sure. Yeah, I'm actually an instructor for Grandmaster Chuck Norris under the Kickstart Kids program. So I've been
Okay.
with Kickstart Kids for the past 11 and a half years. So that is why I'm here in Texas. I'm originally from New Jersey, and
Mhm.
my commercial school is separate outside of Kickstart. So,
Is
um,
that, G-Force
correct.
martial arts?
Yes, G-Force
Okay.
Martial Arts. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess because my students actually thought of that name because obviously with
G
Gargoles, so we get the G-force martial arts.
Cool, gotcha. Okay, and so you have I know do sometimes your students represent G-Force, your school team?
Yes,
Is
they
that
do. And
correct?
actually, for me, I'm not very picky. Kickstart, G-force. For me, that's literally the same family. For
Mhm.
us, we all represent Grandmaster Chuck Norris, and now obviously I am also with Grandmaster Jose Torres, who was the promoter of NAFMA. As a Tang Sudo stylist, I'm also now under his organization, which is Tang Sudo International as well.
Got it. Okay, and so you also represent Team AKA, is that correct?
I do, I
So
do,
do you
and
wanna
that is
talk a little bit more about, how you got onto that team and what it's
sure.
like being on that team?
Sure, I've actually been with AKA for quite a few years. AKA is a team that I've always looked up to. We have so many members on the team, both young and old, and I know our senior team is kicking butt. And I'm so proud of everybody on the senior team. And obviously, I'm proud of everybody, both the kids and the senior. But I think it's time for the seniors to be highlighted. And I'm so glad that Team AKA is one of the very first teams to really highlight the senior team division out there on the circuit. They work just as hard as anybody else and deserves to be recognized, just like the men or the women or the juniors. Yeah, no, Team AK has been so great to me. Sensei Sharky, Hunter, everybody on the team. So I can't thank them enough for always supporting everybody on the team and treating us all so well.
Yeah, there are a couple it's just crazy how extensive and how large that team is, but there's such great names, there's masters like yourself on there in the seniors divisions, people who have been doing this for actual decades, for longer than some of those kids on the team have been alive.
For
So,
sure, for sure.
quite literally. So, have you sort of taken on or what is your sort of mentorship role like in the various aspects of martial arts?
I hope that everyone on the team finds that I am approachable, that they can come to me for anything or any help or any advice. Um, but like you said, we have so many talented, members on the team. That honestly, even for myself, um, I would go up to somebody that's younger than me and ask for their advice. So there's no ego that, hey, I'm older than you, I have more experience, so you should come talk to. For me, I don't care if you're 5. If you're awesome, I'm gonna ask for your advice. And that's what's great about Team AKA is everyone on the team is so deep that you can go to anybody regardless of their age, rank, and everyone is willing to drop whatever they're doing and
Mhm.
help you out because that's what a team does. That's what a family does. But as far as for me, I hope that I can be there for anyone, and I am. So anyone that needs help, definitely, I'm there for any of the team members. Hopefully not
So,
like a dad though, but like an older brother.
okay, so you want the older brother vibe, not the
No,
dad.
no, it's all good. I get it. I am definitely one of the older ones on the team, but I don't always act that way though.
Mhm. Got it. So, circling back to the tournament, you said you won 4 for 4,
I did.
4 first places. What were those 4 in?
It was actually it was the 30 plus
Mhm,
tradition 30 plus traditional forms,
mhm,
the masters division, men and women masters division. I won the 30 plus traditional weapons, and then I believe I won the masters open weapons division. So
Okay.
they just offer, Grandmaster Tours offers so many divisions that sometimes I'm like, what am I doing again? So they just kind of call me and they tell me, and right on the spot, I have to decide exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes, obviously, depending on what division, I have to do some uniform changes because I do hard style, I do soft style, I do wushu, Japanese, the Japanese Okinawan, Korean
Mhm.
division, and I just enjoy martial arts, and for me, the more I can train, the more I can learn, the more knowledge that I can pass on to my students. I really do enjoy that aspect of martial arts, of just training and learning as much as I can.
So that's a lot of different styles that you know and that you have a good handle on. But how does that sort of play into your curriculum for students? Is it a combination, or is there
Yeah,
one specific?
we cross trains in all the different styles, but a lot of times those that want to specialize in competition, I look at their body, I look at their
Mhm,
height, I look at their weight, because obviously someone that is a kicker,
mhm,
obviously I'm going to try to teach him a Korean form that suits their flexibility, suits their kick, and you have
mhm,
some students or some competitors are a bit, very one-sided. They're great with their right but can't kick
mhm,
with the left. So obviously, choreo, which requires both, probably wouldn't be a great form for them. And I have some who are acrobatic. So
mhm,
wushu, open forms are probably good for them. And some that just have a lot of power. So Japanese Okinawan katas would be great for them. And some that can handle both, we definitely teach them both. And a lot of my students are very versed, not just in doing Japanese katas, but can also do Korean katas or hard and
mhm,
soft. So you've seen Morgan, she does
mhm,
Korean, and she also does the soft style division too
mhm.
as well, and she's done hard style as well. So whatever they want to learn, as long as they are able to handle the curriculum and the teachings, then we'll teach it to them.
That's really interesting that you take that initial approach on what fits a body type, because I remember when I first started competing in traditional on the NASCA circuit. So my black belt is in Taekwondo, and everybody on NASCA does Japanese form. So I was like, I need to do a Japanese form, and it just looked bad on my longer legs, and I'm a kicker, and it just didn't fit my style, and I was forcing myself into a hole. So it's really cool to hear as a competitor an instructor that sort of takes that
Yeah. And
approach.
I think it's important to, and I always tell my students is stick to the game plan. I know sometimes people will see a competitor there and they will change their whole game
Mhm,
plan just because so and so is there or people are doing this. And like I tell my students, look, you're a kicker. That's what you're great at. That is what you want to showcase. Don't change your game plan because of this. What suits for them might not suit for you, and what suits for you might not suit for them. So stick to the game plan. Trust the process. You'll get there, and enhance what you're already good at and make it great. So
mhm,
that's definitely the formula that we try to follow. If they can handle both, and they can, make it look the part, and that's really important because you don't want to look like a Japarean, right? Where
mhm.
someone does Jap and Korean, but it looks like both style. Are you doing Jap? Are you doing Korean? So we definitely want to make sure that we show respect to the art itself and not just do divisions just to add divisions. We want to make sure that I mean it suits you
Mhm.
well and that you still respect the art that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And so you mentioned that you tested for your seventh
I
degree
did.
this at this event. So tell me a little bit more about how that went and your history with Grandmaster Torres.
Sure. Me and Grandmaster Torres, we've known each other for many years. Um, and I was originally with Grandmaster Eric Korvalewski. Unfortunately, he passed away. But me and Grandmaster Torres go way back. We've known each other for many years. He's also a fellow Tangsudo stylist. And then for me, we reconnected, last year, and we talked. And I was, looking for an instructor. And for me, I didn't just want to go with anybody. I wanted somebody that I can trust. I wanted somebody that was knowledgeable,
Mhm,
someone that stays true to the history of Tangsudo, Mudukwan. So we talked, we connected, and it was time for me to test. And I was a nervous wreck because it's been quite a few years since I last tested, which was 7.5 years ago. And I
mhm,
teach a lot, training for competition, but as far as really trying to focus for my belt testing. I was never one to chase belts or chase ranks. And I
Mhm.
figured when the time was up, the time was up. And time was up. So, I trained my butt off. Um, worked on endurance the best that I could, worked on my upper ranking forms the best that I could. And to honestly, the most special moment was to have my students there. And I know Morgan was there when I tested for my 6 degree black belt 7.5 years ago, and she
Wow.
was there to witness me test for my seventh alongside other students. And for me, I think that was the biggest pressure. It wasn't so much how I was going to do on the test, but I wanted to make them proud. I wanted to
Mhm.
make sure that I was that instructor that they looked up to, that leader, and set a good example. And I hope that I did, make them proud. Hopefully.
I'm sure you did. I mean, anyone who cares so much about their students and the relationship that you sort of have fostered over time, I'm sure they were
Wow.
extremely proud.
Well, thank you, thank you.
And you mentioned kicking up your training, endurance. So my next question is related to training, but I saw that you went on what seemed to be a beautiful trip to the Philippines, and there were some amazing pictures. And I was wondering, did you train during that time, or was it a full mode relaxation?
Um, I did zero training. I did, the pandemic has really taken a toll on a lot of people.
Mhm,
If you follow me or we're friends on Facebook or Instagram, I travel quite a bit. As much as I love traveling for competition, it is nice once in a while to just pack your stuff without a karate uniform, without a karate gi, and just not have to worry about what time you have to be in competition or what ring you're going to be in or what division you're doing that day.
mhm,
And traveling was at a halt when the pandemic started, and I had a lot of plans for 2020, and
mhm,
unfortunately, we really couldn't travel because of all the restrictions and a lot of countries closing.
mhm,
And the only way I was able to go to the Philippines actually is I'm dual citizen. So if
mhm,
you weren't a citizen of the Philippines or had dual citizen, you actually couldn't go into the Philippines. So that was one of the very few countries that I knew I can get into. Now, when I got there, I did have to quarantine for 14 days,
mhm.
and that was not fun. That was not. The only cool thing was across the street they were building a building, so I got to watch three floors built in two
Oh,
weeks.
wow.
And I probably should have filmed it.
Time
That was
lapse.
about, yeah, time lapse, right? And I didn't even think about it, but that was about the coolest thing, and I ordered. I had to order food in, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Watch TV.
Oh,
I did try to do a couple of push-ups, but yeah, that didn't last too long. A couple push-ups, a couple of forms, and then when I got out, I was like, I was out of jail. I was free, and all
mhm.
I did was just travel, 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 and obviously I had to take a lot of tests every town that I had to go to. So I think within that time, a month and a half of traveling, I think I did 11 COVID tests.
Yeah. Well,
11
yeah.
COVID tests, and it was uncomfortable, but I get it. I get it, and that was the price for me to be able to travel. Then so be it. So we are actually next month, myself and a couple of my students, Morgan, Alex, Thomas, we are actually traveling to Thailand and Singapore for the, I don't know if you've seen the Lantern Festival, where thousands of
Oh,
lanterns are in the air. So I'm super excited because Thailand opens up November 1st.
uh-huh.
Although we took that chance, we booked our flight months ago, probably about a year ago, actually, even in the
Okay.
middle of pandemic, just in case. And we are lucky enough to be able to
Wow.
go in 2.5 weeks. We'll be leaving to go to Thailand.
How special is that? And there's no tournament, no
Okay.
destination,
Yep. Yep.
no
So,
chain being packed in
yep.
the carry-on.
We're gonna be bathing the elephants and no riding, no riding. We're gonna be bathing
Yeah.
the elephants, feeding them. We're gonna go on a culture tour. We're gonna be in the mountains, the lakes. For me, I'm all about life experiences. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful that I have students to be able to share that moments with,
Mhm,
and that they're willing to travel, with me. And some of my students have traveled all over the world with me. I don't know if you know Ronnie Zapata, so he takes a lot of picture for sports martial
mhm.
arts. Ronnie's been with me, I think maybe 20 something countries. He first traveled me
Wow.
with when he was 11 years old to Ireland. He went to Korea with me. He's been to Spain. We've done competitions together, WKC, WKU, WOMA. So I'm grateful to have these moments, with my students. So yeah, we're excited. 2.5 weeks can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I'm very jealous. First of the Philippines and now of Thailand. So you have been competing for a long time, multiple different circuits, WKC, WKU, NASCA, I think NBL as well. Um, how long do you foresee yourself competing?
I've had a lot of people ask me. I've had a lot of people, when are you gonna retire? I mean, I don't know if they mean that in a good way, or they're just curious or whatever.
Mhm,
Um, you know, I've never thought about it. Retirement has never really never really crossed my mind.
mhm,
Um, I don't know. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I have taken mini breaks here and there.
mhm,
But as far as fully retiring, I don't know if that will ever come. I may
mhm,
take little breaks here and there due to schedule. But I think for as long as I can kick and punch, um, I think I will do a few here and there. So I don't know if a full retirement is near,
uh-huh.
but here and there breaks maybe in the near future. So
I think that's how you keep yourself from burning out,
for
because you
sure,
have people who
for sure.
do 13 tournaments a year for 10 straight years, and it
It's a
gets
grueling
tiresome.
schedule. It is a grueling
Yeah.
schedule. And out here, we also do the TKO circuit, which is a Texas organization run by Wayne Nguyen, and then the NASCA circuit. And then normally we also do WKC,
Mhm,
WKU, and we love the international competitions because you kind of hit two birds with one stone, right? So you get to
mhm,
travel and you get to go internationally. And for me, I love going to tournaments where nobody really knows who you are. You kind of really go, let your talent shine,
mhm,
and hope for the best, right? And I never want. That's why we do so many circuits. I never want anyone to say, "Oh, well, you guys only win because everybody knows you in that
mhm,
circuit, and you've been doing that circuit, or this or that." So that's why we do so many circuits to prove to everybody, "Hey, we are not scared. We don't run away from a challenge,
mhm.
and win or lose, we're at least willing to give it a shot and compete with anybody either, whether it's here in Texas, here in the US, or halfway around the world. Uh, we just enjoy it, and we also enjoy meeting the different competitors that we meet along this, competition journey.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Power Chat series, chatting with me, not just about martial arts, but traveling, and, after having such a great tournament at NAFMA.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's always great. To all my students watching, thanks for watching. Or
Yeah, you have some comments.
everybody watching, thank you.
Everyone watching, but you do in the comment section have some master G's and a lot of exclamation points.
Oh yeah, I
So,
see that. All right.
all right. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Power Chat series today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
See you later. Bye, Isabel.